Councilmember Lublin, Councilmember Ambrose, Councilmember Osnick, Mayor Pro Tem Woods, and online with us is also Mayor Ackley. Mayor
Thank you.
Ackley, I will turn the meeting over to you now, please.
Okay, I would like to also welcome everyone here tonight. And at this time, I would call the meeting to order and ask that our clerk please call roll.
Would you like to do the pledge, Madam Mayor?
Sure, let's do the pledge first. Thank you, I'm sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America.
and to the republic which stands one nation,
Under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will now have the invocation said by Mayor Pro Tem Woods.
Dear God, we ask you to preside over this meeting tonight. Help us to act as a unified team to open our hearts and make fair and just decisions that improve our community. Also, may we come together as a whole with the courage and strength to show kindness and compassion as we collectively work towards the betterment of Walled Lake. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Now that I'm back on schedule, would the clerk please call roll?
Ackley,
Here.
Ambrose,
Here.
Fernandez, Locke, Lublin,
Here.
Osnick,
Here.
Woods.
Here.
The chair would entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Locke.
Woods will make that motion.
Support. We'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do we have any requests for agenda changes tonight?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
we would like
Ma'am.
to add the Metro Environmental Portable Restroom proposal for 2025 to the agenda this evening under new business, which would be item number 2.
Okay, what was that you wanted to add? I didn't quite hear you.
Metro Environmental Portable Restroom proposal.
Porta potties.
Okay. And the mayor would like to apologize that when I called that I was responded that I was here. I am in Alpena County, Alpena, Michigan. Okay, any other requests for agenda changes? Okay, we have a presentation tonight. Who would like to introduce and take the presentation?
Who, please come up
Abro
to the
Property
podium.
Management will be making a presentation. They requested such. They're on the agenda later on in the evening for further discussion.
Okay. Okay. We're not going to do the presentation now, or we are?
We
Yeah,
are
Madam
going
Mayor.
to do, yes, the presentation. We're just bringing it up onto the screen now.
Okay.
There is a PowerPoint. And there are copies provided for you as well at your seats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Just please speak directly into the mic and introduce yourself when you do speak into the mic so we know who we're referencing. Thank you.
My name is Fadi Salon. I'm part of the Abro Property Group, and next to me I have Junior Abro, also one of the owners of Abro Property Group. And we're going to be going over our proposed development today. So just a quick intro, we were here last week. The Planning Commission denied to rezone the property that we have on 1215 Decker Road, and this is just a small rendering. We don't know if that's exactly what it's going to be, but that's what we're proposing and hoping that you guys would appeal that. A little bit about our background. We've been in the business for about 20 years. We have over 400 apartments. We have over 200 units in commercial. We have 7 car washes and over 20 laundromats right now. And we also do our own in-house landscaping and snow removal. Here's some of our recognizable tenants. We have Chase Bank, Jets Pizza, and a few other logos you guys probably are well aware. These companies have trusted us to do work for them and also provide them our building to rent for. This is why we believe we're a good candidate to build on this land. Do our in-house property management. We do our own maintenance. We have our own snow removal and landscaping. We have on-call 27 tenant support, so 24/7 hours, 7 days a week. We have somebody always answering phones and there when it's needed, and we have on-site management and security. We believe this is a good opportunity for the city of Walled Lake because, one, it'll provide modern housing, which we have a shortage of everywhere. We believe it'll provide economic growth for the city. The property value in the area will increase. It will create jobs for the city. Tax revenue will increase, and it will support local businesses by bringing more residents into the city. By this, we will promise you guys and the residents that we will do whatever it takes to make sure you guys are happy first and foremost, and then after that, we also would like, if there's any requests for building requirements or anything with the land or with the building, that we'll be happy to look at suggestions and definitely keep them in mind when we go about building this project. Here's our letter of recommendation from another engineering firm that we have worked with in the past, along with Ghaffari. This is the CEO of the company and the president, and he's just saying that he's worked with us before, and we've done a lot of work together, and he thinks that, we're a good company. And that's one part of the presentation. I'm going to give it over to Andy.
Good evening. My name's Andy Eckert. I was here last week. I'm with Ghaffari Associates. I just want to go through and address some of our main points we made in the rezoning application and the process with the Planning Commission. Is we weren't really given a lot of clear feedback for the recommendation to deny, so we just kind of want to talk a little bit more about it. We're seeking rezoning from I-1 light industrial to an RM2 multifamily residential. We did receive a strong recommendation to approve our rezoning application from the city's planning consultant. So I'd like to just read a few excerpts from McKenna's report, and this is based on the 6 criteria that are required for rezoning. One of those points, the master plan encourages development of sites in a way that encourages compatibility. The proposed RM2 zoning, while not specifically consistent with the proposed land use category, would result in a development for the vacant site that is compatible with adjacent residences to the north. Another point, the density of an apartment development and associated use characteristics would act as a transition and buffer between the lower density residential uses to the north and the more intense industrial uses to the south. The site would be capable of accommodating the potential uses of the RM2 district. So throughout that report, it goes on to say, based on the findings above, the proposed rezoning would be consistent with the intent of the master plan. At this time, we advise the Planning Commission to recommend that the City Council approve the proposed zoning of 1215 Decker Road from I-1 light industrial to RM2 multifamily residential. So a few other concerns, one being the gas line. There's a gas line on the southern end of the property. It sits in a 99-foot wide consumer's easement. In the beginning, we were looking to potentially have some parking over this easement. We've foregone that, and now we won't touch anything on that consumer's easement. So what we're trying to do is put issues to bed. There should be no issue with this gas line, regardless of what use is above. We've also submitted preliminary site plans, elevations, and renderings that depict the scale and how the project could look. This wasn't intended to be final. We want to work with the city and the neighborhood to come up with the best solution for the site. So we've also heard a few concerns from the neighbors regarding the fence on the north side of the property, landscaping, and also apartments in general. So if this rezoning is approved by City Council, like they said, we're dedicated to work with the Planning Commission. the neighborhood, even, have a town hall meeting or something to figure out what the pinch points are and come up with a plan that works for everyone in the neighborhood and the city of Walled Lake. So thank you for listening. Do you have any questions before we sit down?
Does council have any questions at this time, or do you want to postpone it to further discussion down the agenda?
Madam Mayor, this is Casey Ambrose. I think it's appropriate to push it to the, when it's on the agenda, under the, would it be new business?
That's my feeling, but if someone had any discussion now, we can do it under new business. That's no problem.
Agreed.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Always want to bow to the pleasure of council. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate the presentation. The next item on the agenda would
Audience.
be audience.
Is there
Audience
anyone in the audience who wishes to speak on an item that is not listed on the agenda? We do ask that you approach the podium and please speak into the microphone with your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to do so. There is nobody physically in the audience. Is there anybody online, Ms. Jackways? There's nobody online, Madam Mayor. There is no audience participation.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
At this time, then, I would request that we have approval of the regular council minutes of February 18th. Do I have a motion?
Woods will second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Locke. Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Council report.
Well, Mindy. It always starts out with
I always
Mindy.
start with me.
Yeah, let's start with Mindy.
Walk down the road.
The Parks and Rec Commission did meet. Always a good time. And we talked about the spring egg hunt, which is going to be on April 19th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So come and bring your basket. That should always be a good time. There's going to be a bounce house, magic show, and a petting zoo. So come on out. The concerts are starting again, and we'll have those at Hiram Sims, and then we'll have every Wednesday night, and then we have the farmers market starting. I was gonna say the farmers market starts May 7th, 17th.
No, 7th.
7th? Okay, May 7th. So that should be a good one. And they say that we have new vendors, and we've got a lot of the vendors coming back. And it's good to see them coming back because that means that we have a quality market. So come on out. It's really a fun time.
Super.
All right, the library board meets this Friday, but I'm going to go over the meeting from last month because I didn't give that report last month. We completed our budget, and we are looking at staying, within budget. We're going to, take in the expenditures will be less than the revenues. We've included in our estimates a new sign for the front, and we want to utilize the new emblem for Walled Lake. We'd like to have that part of it. And then also replacing outdated computers and just trying to stay current with some of the technology. Our current fund balance is at 67%. That was the beginning of the year, and we project that to even go up after this year, and not to, we've got a very strong 67% is more than 25% is good, and we're doing very well. And that we have Carrie Ralston, our library director, to thank for that. She works within the budget and does a great job. We had a $5,000 donation from our library board president. I said that, $5,000 from Barb Garbett. And I think that she deserves a shout out, and she's always been generous. She's been part of the Walled Lake Schools was forever, and she participates in all kinds of boards, and you know, she's wonderful. So we thank you, Barb. Let's see, whatever else. The summer reading kickoff is definitely Tuesday, June 17th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's going to be a Kona ice truck. Oakland County Parks is providing at no charge blow-ups and things like that. There's going to be a face painter and storytelling. We've got a professional storyteller coming in, looking at some statistics from 2024. We have almost 27,000 physical items in our collection, and 26,557 pieces were actually checked out. We had 21,160 visitors. We had 203 programs with just about 2,200 patrons or attendees. And there are 2,066,000 digital items in our collection. And we had 45,000 visits on the internet, Wi-Fi, website, digital access resources. And that is my library board report.
Thank you, Bennett. Casey?
I have nothing to report on, Madam Mayor.
Not even a successful night?
It was a successful weekend. It was a very successful 2025 St. Patrick's Day weekend.
And most of all, I understand it was successful and very safe.
Unsafe, always safe.
That's the main thing. After success or before success comes safety.
Yes, ma'am.
We thank you very much for what you do for the community. Mr. Osnick.
Planning Commission had a meeting, and we had the report of coming in today, and that's going to be on the agenda. The item with the Ambro, the rezoning.
Okay.
That's it.
And we expect to be hearing from you as well.
You probably shall.
Okay. Mr. Woods.
Today I attended a Planning Gatherers meeting. It discussed the Water Resource Commission, the new soil erosion control and stormwater standard manual that's supposed to be coming out by the end of the week. A couple updates is, one of the updates is they've increased the void control for underground storm management of the water. So that seems to be improvement that will help in some costs for future development.
Okay, I thank you very much. Mayor's report, about the only thing I would like to say tonight, in having been in attendance at the most recent DDA meeting, I hope that everyone on council either has heard about it or was at the meeting where a discussion was brought up about our Foster farmhouse. And I think that's going to be a topic that is discussed at length, if not great length, in our budget discussions. And I ask that everybody be giving it a lot of thought. I'm not asking for any discussion tonight, but I think that it's something the city has to come to a decision about and conclude what is going to happen with the Foster farmhouse, who basically is falling down upon itself. And it may be a sad situation, but I think it's something we're going to have to address. And I ask that each and every council member think about it, have a discussion with your constituents, and see where we want to go with it. So that's all I have to say on that discussion. And again, I'm not asking for any discussion tonight. Next on the agenda would be the city manager's report.
Mayor, council members, I first request that you move to receive and file the consent agenda containing the written departmental and divisional statistical reports.
Do I have a motion, please?
Wasn't it go make that motion?
And is there support?
Fernandez.
Did I hear support? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Fernandez.
A couple of them.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion or any questions? Then
I'd
let's have
I'd like to have a discussion after the city manager's finished, if you want something to add to it.
Okay, the next thing I got to tell you about is, you're all familiar with the Tiki Bar and the history of them failing to timely pay their taxes and to timely pay their water bill. They're in arrears again. We're at the point where you probably need to instruct the city attorney to move forward with whatever legal action is necessary. Also to authorize management to authorize WRC, the Water Resource Commissioners, to turn off their water if they don't pay.
If I can interrupt for just a minute, didn't we have a motion and a support, and did we vote?
I do not know. You asked me if I was ready. I think you did not vote.
No, Mr. Woods just pointed at you and you started talking. I'd like to vote on the motion to either accept or,
To receive and file the
Yes.
February.
There was a second. Would you like to do the roll call?
Please.
yes, please.
All right. Locke, Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes. Now, Mr. City
It
Manager,
still
go
would have
ahead
worked
with the
even if I
report.
kept talking, but
Please
we
go
need to
on.
move forward with dealing with the Tiki Bar. I think they're in arrears with the Michigan Liquor Commission based on their finances. Could be they bounced a couple of checks up there. We need to recover what they're owed. The citizens of Wall Lake are paying their water bill. The Tiki Bar is making money but not paying theirs. That means it's coming out of the pocket of the citizens. So we need to, every instruction that we can get from the city council to move forward, either a legal action to recover the money. I believe the Oakland County Treasurer has them on a watch list up there. Ms. Pesta, our finance director, has met with him, and of course I've met with the treasurer too. They will not be cutting a deal with him. They need to pay. But we need to be in a position to recover the money or the property if that's what it takes. They don't get to change the business owner, change ownership or whatever and start all over again. And that's what I see happening. We've been there before. We've already had a lawsuit. We've already worked it out, and they just can't keep up or won't keep up. I drove by a lot this weekend. Seems like they have plenty of customers. So I don't know where the money's going that they're not paying. So you need to have a discussion about that tonight so we can move forward.
Did they ever pay up when they were behind before, when we tried to enforce action?
I think the city attorney will help us out, if you will. My understanding of that is they did get caught up, but again, they got a bill of $4,000 or $5,000 a month. How much is Pesta? You know, would you guess, rounding it off, $4,000 a month?
Yes, their monthly bill is over $3,000 a month.
And they're not paying monthly.
That's just
They're
water.
months behind. And they roll it over, but you can only roll so much to the tax roll. That doesn't help the people who are paying their water bill.
No.
So, and of course, the tax issue is always that. They play that game with not paying their taxes. So we need to get them back in court and recover the money that's owed. So, I would ask the city attorney if he can give us a little history on, you remember, you got a good memory of what we did, and we met in another place, negotiated a deal.
Oh, yeah. This was it's kind of an ongoing problem. We had a similar issue with them about 3-4 years ago. Council did authorize to move forward with litigation, which I did. We litigated the case. There were a number of issues that were brought up during the course of the litigation as it relates to the water meter and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we did reach a settlement of what they owed at that time, and they did make the payments in accordance with that settlement agreement. But of course, they continued on a monthly basis accrue more and more charges I don't know really what's occurred. It sounds like they since over the course of the last 3 years or so that they've fallen back into their old ways of not paying the water bill. So, yeah, we can definitely go forward with legal action and pursue all available legal remedies to collect on what's owed.
Question, what is the total amount that, do we know an approximate number?
For water or taxes?
There's two.
There's both.
Well,
So
taxes
for-
get rolled over and then you're allowed to go 3 years as long as you pay your oldest year. So,
They owe over $44,000 in water.
okay, so that's enough to start legal procedure and make them, bring that where it should be.
There's an additional factor here. The Michigan Liquor Control Commission has found them in violation, or at least cited them. There will be a hearing for their failure to pay properly. I don't know if they bounced the check or didn't pay at all or whatever. There'll be a hearing. The penalties for that can result in suspension of their liquor license
That's a
for
strict.
30, 60 days. That's enforceable by our police chief and his team, which means we're in the middle of it any way we cut it. I don't know the date of that hearing. My guess is somebody smart enough to come up with the money and pay the liquor commission and get that done. But that might not stop the hearing. They could be suspended or whatever they do. But if they lose their liquor license, they'll vanish. If they lose their water, they'll vanish. We need to be in a position to recover what's owed, either by taking the property or getting, liens don't work. Liens don't pay our bills. So we need to be in a position, the city attorney needs to be on notice with the authority necessary, and I need direction. I would cut their water off tomorrow, but that's not the process. You have to give them a notice. You have to go through the drill. If I get that instruction from the council tonight, that's the first thing I'll do tomorrow. We'll be putting them on notice to get that process started. If they don't pay, then we'll turn off their water. The Liquor Control Commission, they're on their own, but if they do suspend them, it will be the chief of police and his team who has to enforce that, meaning they sell no liquor. They sell no liquor, their business is going to go belly up. So they need to get somebody in that can manage it. It's hard to believe they are not making the money to pay the bills because it's full all the time. Anyway, I need action tonight on that so we can move ahead with the water issue and or recovering taxes and everything else.
Well, Lublin will make the motion to start the legal process to protect the city in any way, shape, or form that Van needs to accomplish that on the water bill issue on the Tiki Bar.
Is there support?
Ambrose will support.
Is that enough?
Any further discussion
I
necessary?
think it is enough for me. I don't know if it's enough for the city attorney. See if he wants a more specific, I think it's pretty broad, so good enough?
Yeah, I just need a motion from council giving me legal direction to move forward with pursuing collection of what's owed.
That's it.
Then it goes. Just need a
Okay.
vote.
All those in favor, roll call.
Let's see. Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke. Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
That what you needed?
That's what I needed. Thank you very much. A couple of more things. I did surveys over the weekend, quite literally all weekend long. We had as it was characterized, a soft opening of what is now called the Walled Lake Tavern. If you go down there, it really looks good. I have to give him credit. He's fixed the building that was in pretty bad shape, and I've not been inside yet. After it's completed, not been inside. We'll do that, and I can tell you the outside is right. Staff has been inside. Some of them have looked at it, and they're pretty impressed. I'm not sure they're impressed with his opening, soft opening. They had some ups and downs, but it went well. We had no issues at all in terms of Anybody arm wrestling over parking? When I went down, all the times that I went down, parking was full, including the front parking, which the 30-minute parking, but it didn't appear to be in violation of the 30-minute rule because it was later. Parking was all the way up Liberty, all the way around the corner. His side parking is not nearly enough in terms of what he's bringing in. The bank or the financial institution as it is now, that parking was picked up. But the soft opening went well. There was no issues at all. It looks good. So I'm guessing we ought to give it a try and go down and see what kind of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of our downtown.
And the parking issue will become an issue, but different than that. Chief and I have these discussions about parking, and I remind him years ago when I pointed to the empty spaces in the downtown of a city and told him that's what a parking problem is. If you have to walk a couple of blocks, that's not a parking problem for the business owner. Parking problem is when they're not parking. So it looks good downtown. It's an improvement. It's an improvement of downtown, and so we should be proud to do that. And I may have to take that young man to lunch one more time, because he finally did it. 3 years later, he did it. Having said that, we'll take a look at he didn't brag about his success over at Casey's restaurant. No arrests, no tickets, no towing. No bad performance. I mean, it really, really went well for a St. Patty's Day event. He did it well. He had a really good event. As you drive around tomorrow, take a look. This very day, we got some information in on Starbucks. They're moving ahead on that. We got some plans, civil plans. The 7-Eleven Speedway project, they started looking. You'll see the little flags. That means they're doing engineering and different things they're staking out over there. So we got plans and indeed construction plans for that. That's going to start. So you're going to see a lot of activity. Nothing to report on downtown Watermark yet. Maybe next meeting we'll have something, maybe not, but we're still working on that project. And that's about all I got for you right now, tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Mayor, if I could add something, I just noticed in the fire divisional statistic report that the average response time was 3 minutes and 45 seconds. That's absolutely amazing. So I wanted to thank the fire chief and the fire department and all the staff. Simply amazing.
I agree. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know that I've ever seen 3:45. I've seen 3:51, 3:54. I mean, still 4 minutes is fast.
Good.
Yes, we have a good
That's for
department.
sure.
And
They're parking closer down the road, Bennett.
Come on, Madam Mayor.
And the importance of that, not only for the safety, but it's for insurance rates too. So that keeps our insurance rate.
Our ISO rating is good despite people putting stuff. I heard that they were running stuff up the pole on social media that it was less than what it is. We have a very good rating. Chief, where are you? Say it out loud. What's our ISO rating?
Let's hear it.
I don't need speech. I just need the number.
It's a 3.
There you go.
There's only
That is not what you're reading on the internet. The people who are doing that are purposely misleading to diminish what we do. The chiefs gave you the right answer. It's a 3. That's not too bad for a small town fire department.
there's
Thank you.
only
That's great.
from 4 to 1. There's only 55 departments in the entire state. So
There you
Out of
go.
1,029, that's the top 5%.
Right.
yep. So
You remember when it used to be
Now
shy?
it makes sense. The top 5%.
You remember when he used to be shy?
Yes,
He
sir.
didn't want
Top
to talk? Now-
5%.
Now he wants to give us feet. I just asked him for the number.
Now, that number alone doesn't
Thanks,
do it
Chief.
justice.
Thank you,
Kinda
Chief.
bragging,
Appreciate it.
Right.
They are misleading out there. A lot of nonsense going on. We're not a 2. We're not a 1. We're a 3, and that's a good thing. And what that means is you get a little cheaper insurance rate. If you don't take care of your fire department and that rating falls apart, it's essentially another tax. You're paying more for your insurance, and so that's why you need it.
I
Not to-
well remember, as John probably does, what the insurance used to be at the higher rating. It wasn't
you probably
fun.
know well, Mary. So
I'm in the process of changing now, and I'm getting a reduction because of that fire score.
There you go.
Oh, all right.
Oh, make a note.
I'm good for the rest of the evening.
Okay, if you're good, I'm good. Okay, the next item is correspondence.
Madam Mayor, we do have correspondence that's in the packet, page 55, from the Oakland County Treasurer, Mr. Robert Wittenberg.
Mr. Wittenberg.
Would council like it read into the record? I just wanted to reference it specifically.
Sure.
I'm not sure that it needs to be, but I'll bow to the decision of council. Would you like it read into the record? I don't think it needs to be, but are we okay with that?
To be read with the discussion going on tonight from earlier.
Excuse me?
With the discussion earlier about taxes and delinquent payments, should we read it? I'm asking the other council members and the mayor.
I see no harm with reading it.
I see no harm in reading
Yeah,
it.
that it leads the audience, and
You read it
also
in
it's
title.
Go ahead.
visible record.
The Oakland County Treasurer's Office is in the final stretch of our foreclosure prevention efforts. The tax foreclosure deadline for the 2022 or prior years is on March 31st, 2025. That means if these taxes aren't paid off by March 31st, or any interested party hasn't entered into a repayment schedule with the Treasurer's Office by then, the property will be foreclosed. Since December of 2024, the Treasurer's Office has conducted over 1,000 taxpayer-assisted meetings to assist taxpayers with keeping their properties by working with them to get a repayment schedule or by identifying resources that may be beneficial to them and their situation. We are here to help and strongly encourage taxpayers to contact us before the tax foreclosure deadline if they have delinquent taxes for 2022 or prior tax years. Taxpayers interested in scheduling a taxpayer assistance meeting may call us at 248-858-0611, or they can visit www.oakgov.com/treasurer.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I hope everyone who has an interest in this does understand what they need to do. I'd hate to see anybody have problems with the county and their property because of taxes. Okay, next item on the agenda. We're back to you, Mr. Attorney. You're a hot item tonight.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have two items tonight. The first item is a proposed ordinance amendment to the General Code of Ordinances that would require smoking lounges to obtain a local business license, somewhat similar to what we do with the marijuana establishments. Smoking lounges are basically any type of a business that would allow indoor smoking and that would require a state exemption permit under state law to get an exemption from the statewide ban on indoor smoking that applies to a broad spectrum of businesses. And it includes things like a hookah bar, a cigar bar, a retail tobacco specialty store that allows indoor smoking and things of that nature. What this ordinance does, it would require the owners and operators of those businesses to apply for and obtain the local business license. It provides for yearly inspections of those premises by police, fire, and building, which is the same thing we do with the marijuana establishments. It also includes a number of operational regulations as well as it relates to hours of operation, prohibiting minors from entering onto the premises, prohibitions on gambling, possessing and consuming alcohol, or marijuana or other illegal drugs and things of that nature. So, in a nutshell, that's what this proposed ordinance would do. It is something that came up as a result of some issues that the city has had with some of these establishments as it relates to uses and activities that are going on there, and the police department's ability to do inspections of them.
Okay. Any questions of the city attorney on this?
This would be the first reading.
This would be the first reading if the motion's made.
Ozinek will make the motion to ordinance number C 374-25, an ordinance to amend chapter 18, businesses in the city of Walled Lake Code of Ordinances to adopt a new article 13, smoking lounges, to regulate and require local licensing of smoking lounge businesses and establishments within the city. That'd be my motion.
Lublin will
Support,
support.
support, please.
Lublin supported, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any further discussion? Being no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke, Lublin.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we have no,
And the
Yep,
next
on
item I
page.
have for council tonight is the rezoning regarding 1215 Decker Road. You've already heard the presentation from the applicant who is requesting the rezoning. As the applicant had indicated, the current zoning of the property is light industrial I-1. They're requesting approval to have the property rezoned to RM2, multiple family residential. The rezoning process essentially starts at the Planning Commission level. The Planning Commission holds the required public hearing, and after holding the required public hearing, the Planning Commission does a review and study of the proposal and then makes a recommendation to City Council as to what they believe what they feel should the outcome should be, whether or not it should be approved or denied. So in this case, the required public hearing before the Planning Commission has been held. That was done at the January meeting. Then at last week's meeting, the March meeting, the Planning Commission, after hearing from the applicant several times and also hearing from members of the public as well, ultimately made a recommendation that City Council deny the requested rezoning. The next step in the process is where we're at now, which is to bring the matter before City Council, and City Council ultimately has the final say, the final authority, whether or not to approve or deny the requested rezoning. So that's procedurally where we're at with this.
okay. We have an outline here. I'm trying to go through my paperwork here. The outline of the reasons that the Planning Commission has denied this.
There were concerns expressed at the Planning Commission level, a number of concerns actually. One of the concerns had to do with the high pressure gas line, and there were concerns voiced there about whether, safety related concerns and, whether or not it's a good idea to have an apartment complex in close proximity to this high pressure gas main. There were concerns raised relative to traffic. Decker Road is just has one lane of travel in each direction. There are several nearby residential developments. There's one across the street, which I believe is a subdivision, and then there's the Wimbledon and the Dover Hill developments as well. And the way that this lot is configured, the access in and out of any apartment complex on here would put it in close proximity to the existing access points for the other residential developments in the area. So there were concerns about traffic congestion. If this was a residential development with a lot of people living there coming and going during rush hour and so forth. It is it is not consistent. It's, you know, the planning consultant kind of touched on a few of these letters and a few of these items in his letter, such as it is not consistent with the current master plan to rezone this to multiple family residential. It is not consistent with the future land use map. One of the issues that the planning consultant kind of hung his hat on in arriving at his opinions, and keep in mind his letter is about 3 months old, was the presence of the wetlands on the property, and the fact that, well, you've got all these sort of spotty wetlands on the property that would make it difficult to build a large industrial development there, and you know, building multiple smaller residential buildings might actually be an easier thing to do because of these wetlands. But we've since found out that that those wetlands, according to the state, as was shared by the applicant's architect, the state doesn't consider those regulated wetlands. So those concerns that the planning consultant had about the wetlands and the extent to which it may interrupt an industrial development, those all seem to kind of fall by the wayside. So those were some of the issues that were brought up at the Planning Commission level that likely led to the recommendation in this case.
Okay, thank you. Council? At this time, what concerns do you have on this issue? Or do you want to hear more from the group?
Well, according to the memorandum that Van had, the second paragraph, we had 27 neighboring people that objected in writing to this development. So does that affect the ability of voting?
It potentially does. What that does is it could potentially affect the number of votes that are required to approve this rezoning. If those 27 objections are from property owners who collectively own 20% or more of the land area surrounding this rezoning parcel, then that would kick it up to a supermajority voting requirement that would essentially require 6 affirmative votes to approve the rezoning. And we may have to actually, you know, do the math and take the measurements and figure out if this 20% threshold has been met, depending on what the vote count is here. If you've got 6 or more votes in favor, then the issue is moot. If you've got if you don't even have a bare majority, then the issue is moot as well. It really only would kick in, and we would really need to you know, do that math if it was either 4 or 5 votes approving.
So, Mrs. Lublin, there's no doubt that, you know, traffic development creates traffic, and that is an issue. But I think a more important issue is the high-pressure gas line next to the next to the residential development that would be built. And I think the light industrial is a better buffer going, you know, the gas line is in the south and the current developments are to the north. And it's the light industrial would be something that I think would be a better buffer for, you know, to not rezone.
So you would.
Thank you, Mr. Lublin.
I would leave it alone, I think.
Anyone else on council wants to make any statement at this time? I personally think it's, I don't know. The development for that particular site, we have to think about the traffic congestion. I don't think anybody that travels the city right now doesn't see the problem that we have on Decker Road. It definitely is a traffic issue. And the more we put in there, I think the light industrial would be much less of a problem with the traffic. And again, we have this high pressure pipeline going through there that, are we putting the city at risk as well as ourselves approving something like this? I just, am not sure that this is the way to go for this piece of property. But, I'd like to hear from any more on council that have an opinion here. And if we're not ready for an opinion, if you don't want any more opinions, are we ready to do a vote on this? Or we've heard from the group. Planning Commission has heard from the group. We've heard from our city attorney. And it sounds like it's time for council to make a decision.
The city, the planning commission did not approve it, correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
You can
The
start two.
Planning Commission recommended denial. They don't have any approval authorities per se. They just make a recommendation.
You can start two ways. You can make a motion, even if you make the motion, doesn't mean you vote for your own motion. You can make a motion to approve. If that fails, obviously they don't get what they want, but you still should make a motion of denial if that's what it is. So it's clear the issue of denial, if it's a denial. So you could start with denial too. Either way, it's falls to council to make the call.
Right. It's our baby tonight, and we have to decide what we're going to do.
Well, Lublin will make the motion to deny the request to rezone the property from light industrial to multiple.
Bennett, did you read the, there is a resolution that has been written. Pass this over to Mr. Lublin.
That's part of the packet.
It was part of your packet.
If your motion is for denial, then you would make a motion to approve the resolution of denial, which has the language necessary to complete the denial. That's was drafted
I see.
in the absence of a motion to approve.
Well, I think that we can go right, well,
No, you already did it.
If the denial is not approved, then there's.
You
then
start
that's
all
the
over
next
again,
down.
yeah.
That's right.
So you need a
I'll
motion
make
to approve the resolution.
of the City Council of the City of Walled Lake denying the applicant's request for rezoning of parcel 17-26-376-172 from I-1 light industrial to RM2 multiple family residential, this being resolution number 2025-07. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Woods will
Okay.
second.
Do we have a support?
Woods will second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor right now to approve the resolution to deny. We have a second. Is there any further discussion on this motion that you would like to add to it? Being none, I'm ready for a roll call vote.
Ambrose,
No.
Fernandez,
No.
Locke, Lublin,
So let me make this correct. The no vote says that we don't want to approve this. Is that correct?
If you vote
No.
no, that means you're voting against adopting the resolution of denial.
Right. Well, then I'm voting yes, because I think it should be denied.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
That's 4 yes. Motion carried.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the Metro Environmental.
No, Madam Mayor, we are going to new business number 1, proposed resolution to defer the special meeting requirements for the budget presentation and adoption. Under number 1, under new business.
Where did this other one come in?
Number 2 is the Porta-John that Finance Director Pesta had asked to be requested.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Number
we're
1.
going to go to new business number 1 with the motion to approve proposed resolution 2025-08 to defer the special meeting requirements for a budget presentation and adoption.
Okay. Okay. Stand corrected. Okay. Do I have a motion?
It'd be a resolution for rescheduling.
Yes, sir.
Then Osnick will make the motion, a resolution 2025-08, and that'll be a resolution rescheduling the fiscal year budget presentation special council meeting of Monday, May 19th, 2025, to the regular council meeting of Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, and to reschedule the special council meeting for budget adoption on Monday, June 16th, 2025, to the regular council meeting on Tuesday, June 17th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m.
Lublin supports.
Thank you. We have a second, Madam Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Everyone in agreement with this?
No special meeting needed.
Correcto.
No special meeting needed. Sounds like we're being a good council and saving on taxpayer money here. Okay, all those in favor, let's say roll call vote.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke. Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we're.
Now,
Yes.
with help of the city clerk, where am I at on this agenda?
You are at the
Because
number
I
2,
evidently
the
got things turned around here.
yes, from Metro Environmental, the annual contract renewal for the city events for services, which will
Okay.
be resolution 2025-09. And Ms. Jackways is placing it up on the screen for everyone to review. Finance Director Pesta, is there anything you would like to add about the annual agreement?
We've just been working with Metro Environmental for the last couple of years. They're one of our local businesses right here off of Ladd Road. They do a fabulous job for us. They are quick to respond when there are concerns or issues. So we are recommending approval for the portable restrooms for the 2025 city events.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve? And I would like to echo the sentiment of Ms. Costa. They are excellent. I think they do a great job for the city.
Ambrose, sure. Ambrose will make the proposed resolution 2025-09
you.
for
What?
the.
Sorry, Woods the second.
Very good. We do have a second, Madam Mayor. Would you like to?
Okay, do we have any further discussion?
I have one question. What is the increase? I'm assuming today's world that everything increases? Is
No,
it the same
it's-
price?
It's minimal. It was a $300 increase.
And what is the total cost?
It was,
I mean, they do a great job and.
it's going to be in the amount of $6,390.
Good, thank you.
The PDF had the other attachment. That's okay.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe that's it. I don't have any other notes jotted down here. So we'll go on to council comments. We'll start with Mr. Osnick tonight.
I just hope everybody had a real good St. Patty's Day. I know I did. And with all of that, I defer to everybody else.
Thank you. Ms. Fernandez, how are you tonight?
Great. How are you, Mayor?
Good.
I just want to say it's been a great month in Walled Lake. We've done a lot of great things. And I really do want to highlight what our fire department's doing. One time the chief said to me that he was really happy to be in a city where we appreciate our first responders. And he goes, there are actually cities who don't. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. So we really appreciate all you do to keep us safe. And you're looking at a council that does what we need to do to keep you in training and in all the equipment that you need to make sure that you can achieve your goals. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Lublin.
I continue to appreciate the teamwork of our administration, our fire, our police, our DPW, all of our departments. I mean, it really is a pleasure to be part of this community with everyone working together, and it shows. We get things done, we save money before we spend it, which is a phenomenal, crazy concept. And, you know, we have no debt at this time. I'm proud of the city. I'm proud of our city manager and council and everybody that participates, all of our boards, and we appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Mr. Casey.
I want to congratulate the Walled Lake Tavern, successful opening, contributing to our downtown of what we call our small little downtown that we have here in the city of Walled Lake. Businesses like that are the make and break of small communities. So we want to thank them for choosing the city of Walled Lake, and let's grow on that. Let's continue to make sure the businesses that want to contribute in town are highlighted, and the ones that don't want to contribute are also highlighted on the other side. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Woods.
Focused on the fire department during the statistical report. So thank you again. Appreciate it over and above.
Thank you. As I sat here tonight and listened to the council and their comments, and I can only echo everything that has been said, starting with Councilmember Fernandez and her support of our first responders, and then others adding in to the support of the our workforce in general. I think everybody is great. They need to be commended. And this city council itself needs to be commended. I don't know why, but I was just sitting here again thinking as people were talking. I'm currently in and coming to the conclusion of my 46th year sitting on the city council. And I can say we've gone through some pretty rough years and some pretty rough fights sitting at this table. And it's been a long time since we've had one of those fights. And I don't care to have one in the near future. They can be pretty nasty, pretty discouraging, and everybody heads out a different exit, and it's not a lot of fun. But this council and the last few councils have really worked together, and I think we can thank and commend our city manager and the staff that he has helped put together. Yes, council has the final say, but the city manager has worked very hard to put a staff together that's making this great. And I can echo Council Member Ambrose and saying what a great little town we have, but it may be a little town, but it's one of the biggest and one of the best in Oakland County, if not the best. And it's only growing and getting better, as is the rest of the city. So I think we have a lot to be proud of in Wall Lake. I think we got a lot to come. And I hope in the very, very near future that my home is finished and I can be sitting there with the rest of you and enjoying the council meeting in person. It's been a long haul for me trying to get my home so I can live in it, and that part hasn't been a pleasant experience, but I've been working on it. So I think everybody needs kudos on the back, and we have a great place in Wall Lake, and I enjoy being a partner and a lifelong resident of our little community. So with that, I say, if no one else has anything else this evening, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Ambrose will make the motion for adjournment.
Motion Stickle second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Then most everyone go home.
Good night, Madam Mayor.
Mayor.
Thank you. Good night.
Really quick, I just wanted to say thank you guys for your time. This is the first time I see somebody pray before a meeting. I prayed on the way here. That means a lot to me. I know it didn't go our way today, but I don't think we'll have to be back in front of the city council again because we have a second idea we're going to do, which aligns with the zoning, so that'll be okay. But I just wanted to give you guys a thank you, and you guys have a blessed night, all right?
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good evening.
That's a smart guy.
Thank you.